Well, I say good morning, and it really is a good morning because we're seeing what the rebirth of a home looks like, the rebirth of a community. Chelaine and I are honored to be here. We're honored to help Marguerite out in our own small way and use our painting and varnishing, that's the word I was looking for, varnishing, painting and varnishing skills on behalf of Marguerite Batts. It's Marguerite, by the way. In case those of you are tempted to say Marjorie, it's Marguerite. Making her distinctive, and you will quickly realize if you speak to Marguerite, she is distinctive and a special and wise lady. I want to thank all the folks who are with us. First of all, Habitat for Humanity has been absolutely extraordinary in their support of New York City. Let's thank them. They are legendary for coming to the aid of people in need, and they've done it in a very big way in the aftermath of Sandy. I want to thank Alex Havriliak, who is the acting CEO of Habitat, and all of his team. And then my colleagues in public life who have been willing to roll up their sleeves and help out here. Of course, Speaker Melissa Mark-Viverito, Borough President Eric Adams. You can clap for them all. Yes. Senator Diane Savino had to leave a moment ago. She was out there working. Councilmember Mark Traeger, Councilman Brad Lander earlier in the day, Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, and Assemblyman Alex Brooke-Krasny. And I also want to thank Amy Peterson, the director of our Housing Recovery Office, because she not only directs Build It Back, she goes out there and builds herself. So we appreciate that. The effort of the city is being very helpfully augmented by Habitat for Humanity and other nonprofits and faith-based groups and a whole variety of organizations. We're going to expand that partnership because we need to reach everyone in need, and our nonprofit partners are playing a crucial role. So this is something that's been growing since Sandy. We look forward to doing a lot more. I just want to say on that note, in the hours after Sandy hit, in the days after Sandy hit, I was in this neighborhood and so many others. Chelaine and I were here. We saw vivid scenes here in Red Hook and other areas of the city where it was clear the first responders, in many cases, who got there with the greatest impact, the earliest impact, were community-based organizations, nonprofits, and faith-based organizations. A lot of time, because the city's resources were stretched so thin, it was a church or another house of worship or a community-based group that actually got to people first and provided crucial support. So there's so many lessons to learn from Sandy, and one of them I talked about a lot in those weeks and since is recognizing both the heroism and the effectiveness of the community-based and faith-based organizations that really were the front line in so many cases. And we're going to work very closely with them as we prepare for the future. But Marguerite said something very, very powerful there, and it's something we should all take stock of when someone's been through this. And I want you to know that water reached all the way, totally inundated the first floor here. Literally, when we were standing in the backyard, she was indicating where the water got into. It was what would have been above my head. That's a lot of water. The whole first floor flooded to the ceiling. The second floor water came right up to the edge of that second floor, meaning where you see the window and all the water came right up to the edge, the top of the doorway there. And Marguerite, therefore, has really borne the brunt as a homeowner of what this storm sent at us. But her attitude, and I want you to say a few words, her attitude was that in the aftermath, people learned how to work together in a different way. There was, in the midst of crisis, some restoration of community. As she said very powerfully, before the storm, each man was an island, each woman was an island. People came together in this community intensely to help each other. She said something else that really struck me. She said, we have to do things differently after Sandy. We learned to do things differently. We learned to think differently. That was her experience as one homeowner here in Coney Island, but it's actually the metaphor for what we have to do as a city. We have to think differently and act differently after Sandy. You're going to hear a lot later on today about the ways we're doing that. But I appreciate the way Marguerite understood that on the personal level, but also what it means for our larger community. Would you like to say a few words? I know you're not shy.
You know I love to talk.
I heard that. I got that indication. Go ahead, stand up tall though, because you can be above the microphone.
I just want to, first I want to thank God for just being God. Secondly, I want to thank all of you. All of you. When Mr. Cruz said that I'm going to have a press conference, so I want you to stay home. Because he declared I'm in and out so much. But I was expecting a news conference, not a conglomerate. But I enjoy every minute. Yeah, when Sandy struck, I say, they say super Sandy. Nothing super about Sandy. But Sandy was a godsend because she brought us together. She let us know that we can come together. We might fall back apart, but we are going to work it, and we are going to work it until we all come together again. So in the midst of all of the trauma and the drama and that kind of thing, I just want to say thank you to every one of you. I say thank you to every one of you, and I just must say to Mr. John Cruz and DJ, they come to this every day. This is it. They come here every morning, and they just come right in, pull up their sleeves, and get with it. He won't let me help because I'm too old. But anyway, I'm not mad with him. I like supervising. See, I have a supervisor.
Thank you so much.
So anyway, thank all of you. And God bless you. I love every one of you. I don't even have to know your name. I love you anyway because you exist. All right? Have a blessed day.
Thank you, and I want to thank John. John, you're a great supervisor.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
I see you got Melissa working on the back there. You got me, you're telling us all what to do, but you do it the right way. And we appreciate it. Let's just take a few questions on this house and what we experienced here. Let's state it that right now. Anything about this? Yes.
Can you say, Mayor, how many houses Habitat for Humanity is working on around here? And also have a plan to wear the hard hat. Is that part of your attire now going forward as well?
You'll see me in my hard hat around town. Now, whenever we work on a house, we're going to wear a hard hat. That's the right thing to do. But Habitat's working in dozens of houses. Who wants to answer for Habitat? Come on up.
We have served over 100 families in Staten Island and in Coney Island, and we're currently working on 36 homes as we speak. With 6, we're going to start the process very soon.
Okay. Rich, you have something?
Just a question for the First Lady. What was going through your mind as you were holding on to that paintbrush?
I just want to do as good a job as possible because I want this home to be beautiful for her. I can't imagine what it's like to be thrust out of your home during a storm like that. I mean, your home is the most important, right? Next to your family, but then your home. And I just wanted to do a good job.
You did.
You get an A.
A for Africa.
Yeah.
Do you think it's acceptable that 2 years later people are still rebuilding? What do you have to say?
Yeah, we want to talk about what we're doing here because we're going to have a whole discussion later, but I'll give you a quick answer. We are doing everything we know how to do as a city. What happened in the first year wasn't acceptable. That's quite obvious. We've said that many, many, many times. But right now, I give Amy Peterson and her team a lot of credit. They are speeding up the pace constantly in terms of the construction starts and the reimbursements, and you're going to see a lot more of that. And then thank God there are also organizations like Habitat who are helping a lot of other people. So as Marguerite said, we have to think differently after Sandy. We've been doing a lot of thinking differently about how to serve people, about how to prepare people, about, God forbid, how to evacuate people when it comes to that. Someday there'll be another storm, and it's going to be handled very differently.
Let's do one or two more on this experience here, please.
For City Councilman Mark Traeger, I was here when you made the promise to help rebuild this home a couple months ago, and I'm wondering how it feels to see so many other elected officials and community leaders coming together after that call.
Yeah, thank you. And I thank the mayor, I thank all of the borough presidents, the congressmen, all my colleagues, the speakers here, the administration. Today is a day of service. Today is letting all the Sandy victims know that we have their back and they're not alone in their struggle to recover. So today, instead of just, speaking all day, we rolled up our sleeves and we got to work.
Amen.
Thank you.
One more. Going once, going twice. We say, I want to do media, my brother. I know you're active in the community, but you're blessed. You're blessed to be a community activist. They have
Amen.
Yes.
2 years later, we're dealing with another crisis. Ebola here in New York. Wanted to ask you.
Yes, we're going to do that at the next press conference.
Thank
We
you
have
very
a
much.
whole
Anything on the House,
separate section on
please?
Ebola. Last call on this here, if there is anything.
Just
Go ahead.
your observations on what you did in there and what was going through your mind.
Well, I feel the same as my wife. When my wife is around, she usually makes sure I do things right around the house. So I think the team was smart. They sent her along to make sure I did my painting well. But no, it's like, this is a wonderful lady. She served the community as a postal worker. She's been a positive voice since this crisis. She deserves the best. And I just wanted to do the best for her. I saw all of my colleagues in elected life were learning new skills. And I give the borough president credit. He was very focused on his task. You also get an A for focus. I was thinking about there, but for the grace of God go I. And what it would have been like that day, as Marguerite described, watching the water come up, watching it come up farther, wondering, was it going to inundate the whole house, and what would life be like afterwards? And the bravery of people in the face of that to say they're going to stand and fight and rebuild. So it's a beautiful moment of rejuvenation and a great sense of community coming together to help a good lady, and it's great to be a part of it. Thanks, everyone.
We just wanted to do a quick presentation. First of all, if I could speak to Marguerite a minute, it's been a real pleasure to be here today to help you and your family out. John says that the hope is to get you back in your home by Thanksgiving, and I have full confidence that will happen. That's the goal. And so here with Mark Traeger, who's demonstrated incredible leadership, the City Council wants to present the Habitat for Humanity, right, for all the great work they're doing with a proclamation, really acknowledging and recognizing your efforts and what you're doing to help these communities and families come back. It means a lot to us, and with that, I'll have Mark say a few words about the proxy.
Yes. I just want to say, this is the City Council's way of saying thank you for your service. And I thank the Speaker for her leadership. She has really empowered the Council to oversee this recovery. And this is our way of saying thank you, giving back to a day of service. But you guys are doing this every single day. And we thank you, we appreciate you. And this is a little token of our appreciation from the City Council to Habitat for Humanity New York City proclamation.
Yes.
Melissa's beginning her varnishing business now. So anyone in New York City needs some varnishing, this is the lady right here. All right.
Thanks, everybody.
All right.